Dave and I happened to be on Facebook at the same time one evening, and he was bragging about the great meatballs that he had made for supper for he and his wife, and saying that he had used Bobby Flay's recipe from the Bobby Flay show with Throwdown. And so when I saw that, I went, really? Because I thought, no, there's no way. I'm a fan of Bobby Flay too, but my grandmother's meatballs are much better. It's my comfort food, and it's something that I'm confident when I make, and I know it's usually 99% of the time it's going to turn out well, and I'm really proud of it.
Well, they say that hers are the best meatballs because they haven't tasted my meatballs
Yeah.
yet. So.
And the next thing I know, I said, well, do I see a Throwdown in our future? Just kidding.
It just happened to be that a few days after that, I got all the mailings from the national office, and they were sitting on my desk, and it was something that I thought, what am I going to do with this? I'll just set it aside. And then I come in and thought, oh, let's do it for this. And the idea, it just grew.
And he called me a couple of days later and he said, I was thinking Mission 1's coming up. Yeah. Maybe we could do a spaghetti and meatball throwdown to raise money for Mission 1. And that was the genesis of the idea.
When we had our initial meeting, we thought we'd make about 200 meatballs a piece, and figuring for 200 people. And then the publicity started, and the newspapers started picking it up, and the national office picked it up, and we're like, okay, let's make 400 meatballs now. It just kept growing and growing, and so it's been a really good thing. It's been a lot of fun to do, and we're excited to see what's going to happen this evening. So.
Who's judging?
We have Reverend Daniel Bush, who is our association minister. Mrs. Susan Bishop, who is the moderator of our association, and Reverend David Culp, who is a retired pastor from the area.
Each person will have the opportunity to be able to vote. $1 equals one vote, so they can put $1 in the box. We have the meatballs kind of marked. One meatball will have just a plain toothpick, and then the other meatball will have a colored toothpick in there, and then that way they can determine which meatball they want to vote for. But no matter what, they're going to get probably the best spaghetti meatball dinner that they could have by coming here, and then whatever they bring as far as a canned good and monetary donation, it's going to go for a good cause. So it's a win-win situation no matter what. So.
We know we're going to disappoint one of you, but what we've ended up doing is, because we like the toothpicks better because it had color on it, so that is the winner.
It really didn't matter to us which one of us won, so I'm looking forward to tasting his meatball. I haven't tasted it. I've seen the recipe, so yeah. So it's all good. It's all good, and we're just so delighted at the turnout. I mean, it's really exciting.
So even though the judges had picked my meatballs to win, it's like they picked my meatballs, but they like Robin's sauce a lot more.
Well, we think the people who get fed are going to win because it's a friendly competition with us, but we agreed from the outset that it didn't matter which one of us won. The goal was to raise as much money as we could and raise as many canned goods as we could to feed hungry people. And so whatever comes out of that, I mean, those are the people that win. And in our community, coming together and doing what they do, our two churches, whenever you get to feed people, it's always a good thing.